G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go. For season 1, the Ultra League has just finished and we're opening up to the Master League. At the end of the Ultra League, I've got a rating of 2371, so rank 8, so sort of midway through, I guess. Fairly average. I'd like to be a little bit higher than that, and hopefully with the Master League I can. So I don't have the best Pokemon for some of the lower leagues, just because I kept all my high IV stuff and binned anything that was low IVs, so haven't got to. And with Great and Ultra League needing having caps on the levels, you needed things with low attack stats actually worked out better, which is what it is. So looking at the Master League, so this will be my first set of 5 battles in the Master League. Now I'm going to run with my standard team, and so as you can see I've got Giratina there at 3730, so that's obviously best friend boosted, and so one of the biggest things I would say is throw in, if you've got something as a best friend, definitely throw that in, because that little bit of extra level and a little bit of extra damage you'll do and damage it'll take could be the difference between winning and losing. So this is a very meta team, so this is what I ended the last preseason with, and this was a team that was working out pretty well for me, but there's been a few changes since then, so we'll see how we go. So I'm going to throw my Giratina out to run the start, just because, well, that in the preseason there was a lot of leads of that, so mine happens to be perfect IVs, which is happy days, and then throwing on a boost on top of that means I do win that matchup, assuming shielding correctly and things like that. So I'll jump straight in and give it a go. So for this one, obviously you want 15, 15, 15 IVs, unlimited CP, so perfect Pokemon is what you want. So I run Giratina, absolute weapon being Ghost and Dragon, Dialga, again, weapon being Ghost and Steel, and then Metagross, also being good because it's steel typing, so running the dual moves on all of them. The only one that's a bit, well, I guess none of them are strange. They're all the best moves you can have on them. So the Metagross has got Earthquake, just to deal with some of those steel types that you do run into in the Master League. So we'll kick straight in and we'll see how we go. So first up, 2356. So this is going to be interesting. So you don't know how the meta is going to change in between, well, preseason and season 1. So that's an interesting lead they've got there. So let's see what they swap to. So they're going to swap into Togekiss. So obviously they're fine with losing the... So maybe I should have overcharged a bit there, because if they don't shield this, it's going to KO, which is absolutely fine. Oh, and they didn't shield, so they've let that go. So they've now got their own, so I think I'm just going to spam my fast move here. Spam my fast move. Spam this, the charge. So good old Meteor Mash. So it's going to do a bit of damage. I think I'm going to let this go, and then come in with my own Dialga. So it didn't quite take me out, but that has. So let's throw that in. So they've got a Kyogre in the back, so they're in all sorts of trouble here. So I am going to shield that in case it's the Shadow Ball, because that would still... It's just the ominous wind, so nice bait there. So let's just power that up, and I'm going to go straight for the Iron Head and hope to bait a shield out of them here. It's not going to do... Well, didn't get the shield, so and they've quit. So yeah, they had no chance there. So happy days. Got the win off the board. So happy with that one. Now we'll see what the next one leads with. So there are going to be lots of people with good old Togekiss. So just because, well, as you can see from my team, dragons are very, very prevalent. So they're going to swap straight out of this. There's no way they're going to stay in with a Machamp. It'd just be absolute, well, okay, apparently they are. So shows what I know. So I'm going to Ominous Wind. So I'm just trying to think of what attacks it does have. Could have Rock Slide, I guess, and it does have the Rock Slide, so that's going to do a little bit more damage, but it makes me wonder what they've got in the back that's even, that this is their best matchup. So there we go, so they have swapped out. So I think what I'm going to do is swap out to my Dialga, just because that's going to do huge amounts of damage. So I'm fully expecting this. Well, I was thinking Thunder. It's Surf, so we'll do we'll be able to be a bit spammy with the attack there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge all the way up and hope they don't shield this, thinking it's an Iron Head. And we'll see how we go. So they've not shielded, and that's KO'd, so that's happy days. So they've got backing with, oh, so that's doing some damage, so that does some work. So I am going to let this go as well, which is questionable, very questionable. But that brings in my Giratina, so I can Ominous Wind here. There's no point Shadow Bowling. If they block, then fine. If they don't, KOs anyway, and I've got a chance for a boost. So Mewtwo there, so I'm going to Ominous Wind. No, they've quit, so yeah, there was no coming back from that one, so happy days. So there's two done. So let's throw in round 3. So having that boosted Giratina on the lead is always nice. So there are a few that will wreck me, but hopefully Giratina's a pretty big thing to take on. Very good stats for this, especially like I said, lucky enough to have 15, 15, 15, and so this is an interesting one. So the question is, do I stay in? I think I'm going to, you know. So they're possibly... Let's see what they've got. So they've got Rock Slide. So Rock Slide's going to do a bit of neutral damage, which is fine. So I'm going to Ominous Wind, just because they've got shields. I might bait a shield out, and then I've got a chance for a boost. So, ooh, that's not done much damage at all. So I'm going to save up for this one. So I think what I might do here is shield, just to stop that damage building up too much. So I'm going to overcharge. Oh, so they've managed to catch me. So it'll be interesting to see what they've switched in, and I'll get ready to switch out. Oh, that's some awful. So I don't know that I should have swapped in my, yeah. So this wasn't a great swap. So they're probably going to be using Thunder here, I would imagine. Thunder is the way to go against the. Ooh, so that's done a lot of damage there, but that's fine. So I'm going to throw this because I'm not going to get another opportunity. They will shield this, but that's fine. They can use up their second shield. Yeah, so they've shielded that, so that's fine. That's fine. So they're going to fast move farm me down, which is awkward. So what I really should have gone in with was my own Dialga. So I'm just trying to think what I should use here. So I'm going to take the hit. So thankfully... Oh, so that's interesting. So if I can get to it first, so I can't. So this is more than likely going to be superpower, which is going to do a fair bit of damage. Oh, and it KOs. That's a lot more damage than I thought it was going to do. I really should have blocked that, as it turns out. So not looking good here. So if I can get the boost, I might be able to do okay. So they're going to come out straight with their Dialga, I imagine, and farm me down, and I'm hoping I can get to it. So I can get to it, so I'll at least see what their third thing is. But I really should have, as it turns out, blocked the superpower. So I did know it was going to be superpower. Let's see what they've got in the back. So they've got their own Giratina, and that's a good game. So looks like blocking the superpower from the Melmetal is the way to go. So the first set of 5, so a few of these things you're going to have to be careful on, and that's the big one. So had I blocked that, I would have been a very different game, just because I could have got my Thunder off and probably taken it out, brought back in. They would have brought in their probably oh well, let's see what we do. So this one's not probably a good matchup for me, so I might switch out into and they'll switch out at theirs, which is fine. So it took them a little bit of time to switch out, so I'm going to go with a straight up medium mash. I've got a little bit of energy extra, so I do want to try and so I'm going to have to shield when it gets through. Is it going to get there? Yeah, so I am going to commit a shield here, because it will allow me to get to the next second medium mash. I've got Surf, that's an interesting one. So I've got to my second one there, which is good. And then they'll either be burning their second shield, or it should go close to taking it out. So they've burnt their second shield, which is absolutely fine. So for this one, I'm going to try and build up some energy here. So I don't know what this attack is going to be. They had Surf. They've probably got an Earthquake. Oh, so they've Surf. So that's a really good bait on their part. So that's worked out really well for them. So that's taken out my second shield. Nice shield bait. So what have we got? So I'm going to go straight up Thunder here, because obviously the Iron Head will be resisted, so I've got to get some Thunders, and it's not very effective, so this is not going well for me. Let's hope I can get to another Iron Head. I can't. That's unfortunate. So the question is, what do I do here? So I'm going to have to let this go. I'm going to go straight for the old Shadow Ball, and really hope that it's going to do a lot of damage, but to the Togekiss, I'm not sure. So it's done a lot of damage. Can they charm me down, or can I get to... No, so they've got to their charge attack first. So possibly 2 Ominous Winds was the play there. That Ancient Power is going to take me out. Oh, it didn't. 1 HP, and managed to pull through a win. So that's such a close game. So there, I possibly should have gone the 2 Ominous Winds rather than the 1 Shadow Ball. I have to check what the damage is on that, to see how what the difference is, and also what the charge time is. So 5th match in the group, and so I've got 3 wins on the board, 1 loss. That 1 loss was pretty bad. So this is not a good lead for me at all. So what I'm going to do is switch straight out. So it unfortunately puts me in a slightly worse position than them, just because they're going to have... so I think I'm going to let this go. It's going to be, oh, it's Iron Head, so that's interesting. So I'm going to do the same, and I'm hoping, so I was hoping for a Thunder on their part. We'll see if they shield. They have shielded, so that's interesting. So they're probably going to try and fast move farm me down, which they're going to be successful at. So I know they've got Iron Head, and they will have Thunder as well. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to throw in my Metagross, just because it will resist the damage done by... So this is going to be Thunder, 100%. So let's see what they throw. Oh, it's an Iron Head, so there you go. There's my good old 100%. So they might swap out or let me keep charging them down, which they have. So I was really hoping they wouldn't get to another one there. So let's see what we've got. So I went for the Earthquake there, which is probably not... Well, I mean... Oh, so they have blocked that. So that's a good shield on their part. So I'm really hoping I can get to... And I should have swapped out a whole lot earlier than that. So they've got a Snorlax, which is absolutely going to wall my... Oh, this is not good. So Snorlax is the counter for Giratina. They're not going to do anything. So the only possible thing I've got is if I can get a nice boost here. And by boost, I mean I need a couple of boosts. This is not going to go well for me. So I'm going to try and... so what I should be doing is just storing up some energy here. I've got to be burning this switch timer as well. So they're storing up a powerful amount of energy. So they're going to come at me with... probably multiple body slams, really get rid of my... so I'm going to try and, if they aren't watching their switch clock, I might be able to switch out. But it looks like, no, I'm down. And they're going to throw straight into... it really doesn't matter at this point. Good game. So 3 wins, 2 losses. So having the... Let's see, so yeah, it's going to be another outrage probably. They've got huge amounts of energy stored. They've probably got another one left over. Superpower, so yeah, happy days. Game over. So well done them. So having that Dialga in the lead is probably my weakness, so I might switch out my Giratina for a... So Giratina for... Metagross, just because it will resist most of their moves. But I mean, having the Giratina lead is also quite nice. So not 100% sure. Let's see how we did. So 2371, so 2380. So went up 9 points there. So that's not too bad. And the one you got to watch out for really is the Snorlax against the Giratina, having complete ghost moves. So getting swap locked against Snorlax is a real bad thing to happen. So that's one to watch out for. So I need to think about that one and think about what the best counter is for that. Probably the one that I need to swap out of is going to be, so if they lead with a Snorlax or if they lead with the Dialga. So Dialga and Snorlax is going to be my biggest threats, well, biggest meta-relevant threats really. There's a few others that are there, but they're probably going to be the big ones that everybody has. So I need to think of what I want to counter those. So it'll be an interesting third choice. So I think for now I'm happy with Metagross. I might switch Metagross up to being the lead, and that way it's... yeah, that could be the option going forward, but we'll just have a few more rounds. We'll see how things pan out, see what people are using, and then we'll go from there. So that's my first run in the new Master League, and hopefully it was a little bit useful. So this one's going to be obviously huge amounts of Stardust and huge amounts of candy because it's everything maxed, and it's going to be absolutely dominated by the legendaries. So getting those second charge moves on the legendaries, very expensive. So there are a few others that you can use. So obviously Metagross Community Day, so hopefully people were able to get out and get amongst it for the community day, get Media Mash, and have a few candy left over for that to get that second move as well. Another good one, Swampert. So Swampert's good in every single league. And there's obviously a few more that you can go with, and then the Snorlax is the other one that's sort of probably the most obvious. But then if you're looking at that, it's not really countering some of the big legendaries, which, let's be honest, are Giratina and Dialga. They're the big two, probably. Spot number 3 in my team is probably up for grabs, and we'll have to look at and see if a Snorlax can fill that gap for walling the Giratinas that you come up against. The only thing with that is I have a Dialga, and Dialga v Giratina is sort of better at it anyway, so well, is enough for a counter there, but it's when people run all 3 that I may run into problems. So a few early thoughts on the Master League. Semi-happy with that. So started off strong, dipped a little bit there, so got one really close game there, and 2 fairly solid losses, to be honest, and 2 fairly solid wins as well, to be fair. So mixed bag as the league kicks off and starts, but 3-2, so happy with that. So thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful for someone, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.